And we are live. Welcome to the Another 71 CPA Exam Podcast, episode number 86. As always, I'm your humble host, Jeff Elliott, a licensed CPA in the state of Kansas by the grace of God and to the chagrin of many, and the number is growing daily. This is episode 86. If you want to be on the show, go to another71.com, click Ask Jeff. Or if you have a question for the podcast and want a response within 24, 48 hours, normally it's 24 hours, you can be a member of Ninja Monthly and ask it via the dojo, or you can always just email me, jeff@another71.com, and I will help you get pointed in the right place. So if you have questions, hopefully I have a few answers. We're also recording this on Facebook Live, and if you want to see me start and stop this thing 3 times already, you can go ahead. All right, Bobby starts things off. What is the best way to find CPA study materials to help me pass the CPA exam? Well, as if the CPA review community doesn't rely on mnemonics enough, I've come up with a mnemonic for buying CPA materials, and that's TRY, T-R-Y. You need to do trials. So sign up for free demos and try it, try the software, and see if it's right for you. You need to research. You can Google any CPA review course, and you're likely going to run into a bunch of crap. Everyone out there is biased, including me. And when people ask me, when they email me, hey, should I buy your Ninja materials? I almost always say, I am extremely biased. So, but one place that's not biased is the Another 71 forum. You can go there, and there's over 500,000 posts. Just search for any course. You'll likely find people who are evangelists who love the course. You will find people who hated the course, and you'll find the majority who thought that the course was just fine. And you'll find that for just about any course. So trial, research, and then finally you. TRY, the Y is you. Your budget, your learning style. So do you want to spend $3 or $4 grand, $2 grand, something inexpensive like Ninja Monthly? Like, think about this. You graduate from college, if you're like the average student, you have a boatload of student loans, and you get married, and you get a mortgage, maybe you get some car payments, you start having kids. Like, your son or daughter might be starting to study for the CPA exam by the time you pay off that CPA review course. So it's something to keep in mind. And so your budget, and finally your learning style and your preferences. So as you try the review course in question, ask yourself, do I want to spend my early mornings, do I want to be with this instructor at 5 a.m.? And if the answer is, I can probably handle that, then go for it. If the person already grates on your nerves, like some people don't like my Kansas twang, it's fine. If there's some mannerisms about an instructor that just drive you up the wall and it makes you not want to study, you should probably not buy that course, because you are not going to want to study at 5 a.m. I mean, yeah, maybe you can handle it at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 5 a.m., not so much. So trial, research, and you. And that is the best way to find your CPA study materials. All right, let's start off with some dojo questions. Again, if you want to be a member of the dojo, it is our private study group. So we have a free study group on the another71.com forum, but inside of the Ninja Monthly membership area, we have a dojo study group and private messaging and all sorts of good stuff. Carly says, would you say that the flashcards are equal to the Ninja notes, but in flashcard format? When reviewing both, they seem to be the same. I'm curious because I learned better via the flashcards, but I don't want to shorten my time on the Ninja notes. The flashcards do not contain all of the info in the Ninja notes. The Ninja notes are, the Ninja notes are already very abbreviated, but they are they go into a lot more in depth on topics than the flashcards. The flashcards are simply for reviewing when you're at the doctor's office or whatever. I tell people to remove Facebook from their phone and put the Ninja flashcard app in place of Facebook, so that when your muscle memory naturally goes to Facebook or whatever your app of choice is, you can trick yourself into studying. No, you cannot study only the flashcards instead of the Ninja notes. You will not get the full benefit. The flashcards probably are 60% of the notes, maybe, just give or take. Cole says, I had a question related to the Ninja Study Framework. I'm not seeing anywhere in the framework on how to incorporate doing the sims or doing practice tests. Do you have a suggestion or advice on how to tackle those, if at all? Okay, I used to tell people that I was not a fan of sims, and maybe do 80% MCQ, 20% sims, because I've always held that if you understand the content well enough to do the MCQ, then you know it well enough to do it on the simulations, because the sims are just a natural application of the concepts that you're already learning for the MCQ. Quite a few people probably disagree with me on that, and especially, the sims used to be 40% of the CPA exam. Now it's 50%. It's 50-50. So the combination of the higher weight of the sims and also probably a little bit of friendly pushback on the forum about my stance. So I can go 70% MCQ, 30% sims. If I were studying today, I'd probably do 70-30. So I still hold that if you understand the tax concepts, if you understand the F-150 mnemonic for a farmer's tax return and regulation, then that will help you do like a simulation if you have a farmer's sim or something like that, or something about M1 and M2, and if you have to do, like, if you understand M1, M2 for a corporate tax, then you'll probably do okay on a simulation, because it's just a natural extension application of what you already know. But at a bare minimum, I would do the AICPA sample test, because it's like 5 questions, but you also get to do the sims and get familiar with the format, especially the research component. Make sure that you know how to do the research component for the AICPA sample test. Practice exams, I hate practice exams. I tell people that they are a waste of time. People still insist on doing them. A practice exam, it's a waste of time, because just because you score a 75% on your practice exam, that doesn't mean that you're going to pass the CPA exam. Anecdotally, unofficially, I think that a 75 on the CPA exam is kind of like a B+, A-, probably an A-. And so, and that's based on nothing other than just my gut feel. And so you can spend 4 hours doing a practice exam, and all you've done is you've waited 4 hours to get the feedback on questions 1, 2, and 3. I mean, I am a bigger fan of doing questions in study mode, getting the immediate feedback. And so yeah, I think practice exams, they don't tell you really how you're doing, other than just a percentage, but what's that good for? And then you have to wait hours to get feedback on your questions, and then you have to go back through them. Okay, you got this one wrong, and why? I'm a bigger fan of doing questions in study mode, immediate feedback, take a note or two if you need to over the question, and move on. Ricky writes in, I've seen you mention that you can rewrite notes from the Ninja book, or you can rewrite the Ninja notes word for word. What's your experience choosing between the two for most people? That step in my planner is coming up soon, and I'm not sure what to do. If you had to choose between the two, so when you're taking the notes in the Ninja framework, you can either take the notes, well, you should take notes over your concepts, but when you rewrite the notes, you can either rewrite your own notes, or rewrite the Ninja notes, or rewrite both. I am a big proponent of rewriting the Ninja notes word for word. You can rewrite your own notes if you want to, but people tell me that rewriting the Ninja notes word for word is the way to go. I had one guy email me that said he rewrote it like 2 or 3 times. And just all sorts of research has shown, and not to name drop, but Harvard says that writing things down like stimulates your brain and makes things stick a lot better than highlighting. And so yeah, you can take notes, and that's great. That's better than highlighting, but rewriting your notes and letting them marinate a little in your brain, I think will serve you well on exam day. So Ricky, to answer your specific question, I would rewrite the Ninja notes. Logan writes in from the dojo, I am taking FAR in 1 week. I'm currently trending in the high 50s and low 60s. I've already copied the Ninja notes down and I'm reading them at least once a day. What's your best strategies for cramming in the last week? Would you recommend studying with the Ninja notes or focusing on MCQ or the Blitz videos? I am able to study for around 8 hours every day between now and exam day. Your final week, you should be hitting the MCQ really hard, and start with your weakest area first. So you're taking FAR. Let's say your weakest area is bonds, and your second weakest is not-for-profit accounting. And if you don't know what your weakest areas are, if they all feel weak, just think, when I'm dreaming at night, which one am I dreaming about that's giving me nightmares? If it's bonds, okay, start with bonds. And so that's your weakest area. Work 20 question mini testlets until you're scoring in the 70s. It's an arbitrary number. Until you're scoring in the 70s, and then move on to your next weakest, not-for-profit accounting as an example, and then score in the 70s on that and move on. So do 20 question mini testlets. So I would do that with the MCQ, and then I would hit the notes hard. I would keep reading those. And the Blitz videos are a combination of the Ninja notes and the audio, and you can watch those if you want to. If I was pressed for time, I would read the Ninja notes and I would hit the MCQ. And then obviously, even when you're driving to your exam, you are listening to the Ninja audio over your nightmare topic. So bonds, as you're driving to Prometric, you're listening to the Ninja audio over bonds. Just get that stuff in your brain. Amir writes in, I'm in desperate need of some advice on how to study for FAR, and specifically in the AICPA content area of select financial statement accounts. I scored stronger and comparable in all areas except this and simulations. I find that time is my biggest hurdle, and then I'm very thorough and tend to read in great detail and have a tendency to verify and reread documents and gain assurance that I am answering the questions correctly. Any advice would be appreciated. All right, so select financial statement accounts. That's 30 to 40% of your FAR exam, and that's things like cash, receivables, inventory, investments, PP&E, bonds. So pretty important stuff. And there's a whole section of that in the Ninja book. I would read the Ninja book, especially over that topic. So, I mean, the only way to get stronger in that area, I would read the Ninja book, nail the concepts there, and then I would hit that section really hard in the MCQ. I mean, sounds like a pretty simple answer, like read the book, do the MCQ, but I mean, 30 to 40%, you have to take that section seriously, and the only way to do it is make sure that you're taking good notes, and especially on the MCQ, when you miss things, make sure that you really write them down. Dolly says, can you give me study tips on preparing for the task-based simulations for the FAR exam? So we get a lot of questions about simulations, and I recommend doing 70% MCQ, 30% simulation. Some people think it's 60-40. I don't. 70% is the max. I mean, like, you can't spend half of your time doing simulations because that you're going to get whatever, 70, 80, 90, whatever the breakdown is amongst each exam. I don't have it memorized. But you know that you're going to get tested over each concept a little bit. And then you're only going to get a handful of sims. You need to master the content, or at least to an acceptable level, 80%-ish for the MCQ, to be good enough for exam day. I'm 40 and my voice still cracks. That's okay. Again, you're going to get a handful of sims. You need to, I mean, you can't just punt the sims, because if you punt the sims and then you fail, you're going to blame it on punting the sims. So you don't want to do that. But you should definitely do the AI-CPA sample test and get familiar with it. But I mean, I recommend 20 to 30% of your time max on the simulations. I would do simulations over what I call your bread and butter tactics. I don't know if bread and butter is a Midwestern term or what, but over your basic topics: inventory, bonds, leases, just stuff that you can take to the bank that's going to be on the exam. BEC. Okay, so what's a big topic in BEC? Cost accounting. All right. Regulation, individual tax, partnership tax. I mean, stuff you have to know. Do a sim over it. I mean, don't do a sim over some nuanced topic, but do sims over your basics. And I think using that rule of thumb, I think that will serve you well on exam day. Ootball, sorry if I butchered your name, writes in, I'm terrible with names. I am frustrated with Climb because the questions are very hard, and I feel that no matter how many times I've read the outline, I do not get the magical score of 75 on any of my units. I have the monthly subscription for Ninja FAR. Do you have any suggestions or tips on how I could successfully supplement Glime, or should I just go full Ninja mode? Now, whenever I read a question like this and someone has a complaint about a review course, sometimes I omit the company name, but I left it in here because Glime is a good company and they have a good reputation, and I have a great relationship with them and respect them a lot, and so they have good products. And you know, I've said before, when people talk about a course in the forum, you know, 20% love a course, 20% hate a course, and was it 60% are kind of in the middle, but more people tend to have glowing praise for Glime versus so Glime customers seem to be very happy with it. Okay, now with that said, I have an editorial disagreement on some of their questions because, like, for instance, enrolled agent. So at least they used to, and I'm pretty sure this is still the case, they include enrolled agent questions in the regulation material. You don't, I guess this is for FAR. so this doesn't really, it's not really applicable for FAR, but I'm going to use enrolled agent and regulation as an example. Enrolled agent questions are beyond the scope of the CPA exam, I believe. And so there's something to be said about just going through brutal sparring sessions so that the actual fight seems a lot more doable. And there's something to be said about that. However, I also think that questions that are beyond, I mean, you get some nuanced corporate tax questions, like you're going to feel like you're just dumb. And it's going to make you not want to study and really doubt yourself going into exam day. And then you're like, oh, well, maybe I guess I do know this stuff. And I do think it can impact your morale. And so, but this is for FAR. And I don't know of any extra, like, I don't think they put CFA questions in FAR or anything like that. But so it might just be that it's the AI-CPA release questions that are just kicking your butt and has nothing to do with editorializing or anything. And so all of that to say, keep using Glime, and especially their sims. People seem to love their sims, so keep using their sims. And then for Ninja Monthly, so go to another71.com/pass was it pass CPA exam or pass the CPA exam? It's one of the, it's a post sticky at the top of another71.com. It's how to study with Ninja, and it's how to use a review course and Ninja Monthly. And so you can read how to use your GLIME materials with Ninja Monthly, how to incorporate the book. So you have 2 books. Which one do you go with? You have 2 sets of software. Which one do you go with? And just for purposes of this question, I would do your learning, so your NIN, your nonstop multiple choice. I would do that with your GLIME materials and your GLIME questions. And then for your review, the A, it all comes together, I would switch to Ninja MCQ. And then obviously you're using the Ninja notes all the way through from the beginning. You're using Ninja audio all the way through from the beginning. Going back to the N, nail the concepts. I don't know if you have their videos or not, but you can decide if you want to watch those. And we obviously have the Ninja Plus, the BISC videos. If it were me, I would switch to the Ninja book. I would read the Ninja book and take notes over that. I'd use GLIME for the MCQ, and then Ninja MCQ for, use GLIME for the nonstop MCQ and use Ninja MCQ for the A phase. It all comes together, and I mean, kind of mix and match however you feel comfortable. I mean, you likely paid a lot of money for your course. You should use it, and it's a good course, but that should help give you a feel for how to incorporate both GLIME and Ninja Monthly. Again, I'm a big fan of the folks at GLIME anyway, so no issues there. And if I didn't like him, I wouldn't have mentioned the name, because sometimes I omit the company name. Ellie writes in, I want to study for the CPA exam, and I need your help. My son is 9 months old, and I need to study at night. Would you please let me know, where do I start, and what is the first step? Do you think a 20-day time frame is right for me? 20 days, especially with a 9-month-old, way too condensed of a time frame. I mean, you're studying at night, so I'm assuming that you're working during the day. So no, I mean, I would go to another, which one am I looking here? Go to another71.com/free and click and download our free study planner, and it should give you a 7-week time frame. I think we're working on a condensed 4-week time frame. So you need probably 7 weeks. It kind of depends on the exam. You can get by for 5 weeks for auditing and BEC. Regulation and FAR, it's about 7 weeks, unless you really want to hit it hard, like pedal to the metal, 25-hour weeks. But where do you start? So go to another71.com and read how to study. Download our free study planner. It comes with the CPA exam survival guide, and it walks you through in detail the Ninja study framework. You don't have to use Ninja materials. You can use whatever course you want to and apply the Ninja framework to it. It's a free download, and that will help you how to study. And so that's what I would do. 20 days, too tight of a time frame, unless you're just unless your NTS is expiring or something like that. But or if it's, well, I guess in your case, the exam window might be closing, so you might not have a choice. And so I guess if you want, probably should have thought this more. I should have thought this through a little bit more, because we are at the end of the testing window. So if you're at the end of the testing window, there's another article on another71.com. It's in the sidebar. It's how to pass in 20 days, and it's not a best practice. It's wild and crazy and just nuts, but it's how you can conceivably study and pass an exam section in 20 days. It's not pretty. It's not fun. You'll have no life. You'll hate me and everyone around you. But I mean, if you use Ninja, obviously, but it can get you through in 20 days. So that's what I would do. So go to another71.com, click how to pass in 20 days. Run writes in, I am entering my senior year in college. I want to take my first CPA exam immediately after graduation. I'm thinking about piggybacking the auditing exam a few weeks after my college audit course so that the concepts are fresh. What are your thoughts? I would not do that. I would still, so graduate, road trip, hang out with the family, whatever, enjoy life, then jump into the CPA exam, and I would give it your full 5 to 7 weeks. Like, just because you took auditing in college, like, there's plenty of auditors out there who can't pass auditing, and some of you are like, yep, that's me, because I get the emails all the time. Hey Jeff, I'm Big Four, I'm an auditor, I was 4.0 in college, I can't pass auditing, am I stupid? And the answer is no. Just auditing is a tough exam. It's a very subjective exam. It's not as objective as regulation or FAR. It's like each question seems like it has 2 correct answers. And so just because you take auditing, you took advanced auditing or whatever, yeah, it will be more fresh in your mind. So yeah, you might take that first instead of taking FAR first. Normally I recommend taking FAR first so that you get the beast out of the way for your 18-month clock. But in special circumstances like this, you might have a small advantage because you recently took auditing in college and some of it's fresh in your mind. And so I think there's some merit to that, but still give it your full 5 to 7 weeks. Kevin says, I have a general question about the accounting education requirements to sit for the exam. I'm considering sitting for the state of Washington, and I still have some classes to take to satisfy the requirement. Regarding the quarter to semester hour conversion, in general terms, are conversion hours rounded up? I calculated 17.7 hours after conversion. Is this seen as 17 hours or 18 hours? Now, the answer to the question is, I don't know. But why would I include a question that the answer is, I don't know, in a podcast? Because it's not helpful to anyone, obviously. And the reason why I did that is because for anyone listening who has a question about will this class work, or will this class count, or how will the state board approach this, there's only one way to know, and that is to contact them directly. And I would call the State Board of Accountancy, ask for the director, and speak to them, and then follow up with an email. It's like, hello, director, such and such. Just want to, thank you for your time on the phone. Just so that I understand, I am doing X, Y, and Z, and the state board is okay with X, Y, and Z, and it will count towards whatever. And get it in writing. That way, if you come up against, no, you're not approved or whatever, like, you have it in writing. So the AICPA writes the exam. NASBA administers the test. But only the State Board of Accountancy determines whether or not you're eligible to take the exam and whether or not you get licensed. So it's their opinion that matters. It's not my opinion that matters. It's their opinion. And so get it directly from them in all situations and circumstances. Lisa says, I want my CPA license, but I can't find the energy to work hard and study. I feel overwhelmed with the time that FAR is suggested to take, and I've fallen so far off track. Becker suggests 10 weeks for FAR, and realistically, it will take me what seems like 20 weeks. That is a lot of time to do nothing fun but study for one exam. How can I find the motivation to put myself into this? Every day I struggle to log in to start studying and commonly push it off to tomorrow. And then tomorrow rolls around and I push it off again until tomorrow. That sounds familiar. Then I feel guilty for not studying. How do you push yourself to study every day? For me, I wanted to be CPA, but I didn't want to study. I wanted to come, so I had a public accounting gig. I'd come home. I don't think I had any kids back then. Yeah, I did. I guess I did. And I want to come home and just, back then we didn't have Netflix. We didn't have smartphones. That's how old I am. But I wanted to play like Madden on PS2. Anyone still play Madden? I don't have time for that anymore, but back in the good old days. Yeah, I didn't want to study. And so I would go and I'd cram for a week and I'd fail with a 71. And I'm like, why did I fail? Oops, I guess I'll do it again. And then I would just repeat. I did that for like 3 years. My wife's like, okay, I get that this is a great excuse for getting out of family reunions or whatever, but like either start studying or let's hang it up. And so I said, you're right, it's time. And so then I did what I've developed into the L plan, early, lunch, late. It conveniently matches the first 3 letters of my last name. Early, get up early, study for an hour. Study at lunch, skip, going to the deli with whoever and gossiping about the boss, like eat your sandwich for 10 minutes at your desk and then watch a 50-minute lecture. Stay an hour after work if you can. If you have kiddos to pick up from daycare or whatever, you can't do that. And then study for an hour or 2 at night. That's the early, lunch, late. And then study for 8 hours or so on the weekends. And again, you can get the Ninja Study Planner and map all that out at another71.com/free. And it's a free download. And so, but the bigger question is, how do you motivate yourself? So it's like if your mom or dad came to you and said, we want you to run a marathon. Well, if you're like me and you hate running, that's why I always played goalkeeper in soccer. I hate running. So if it's someone else's goal for you to run a marathon, are you going to get up and train? No, it's hard. It's terrible. Like, who wants to do that? If you want to run a marathon, and if it's your personal goal, then that's great. And then you will do it. You'll find the time. You'll run 16 hours on a Saturday training for it. And I know that because my brother-in-law did it. So I think I've ran 16 miles in my life. Did I say 16 miles or 16 hours? Anyway. And so why do you want to be a CPA? Is it your dad's goal for you? Is it your uncle's goal for you? Is it your boss's goal for you? Like, you're not going to get up and do the L plan if it's someone else's goal for you. If you want to be, if it's someone else's goal for you to be CPA, you're not going to do it. Okay, you're just going to like kind of slough on by, spend a lot of money, have a miserable 3 years or whatever, and just hate life. If you want to be a CPA because you want to prove to that college professor who kind of looked down their nose at you and thought you were dumb, or this guy. If you want to prove to your uncle who said, "You kids have it easy this day and age. We had to sit in some hotel banquet hall for 3 days straight or whatever, and number 2 pencils and yada yada yada. You kids have it so easy these days." If you want to prove it to your uncle and shove it in his face at Thanksgiving that not only did you pass the CPA exam, but you passed a harder version of the CPA exam than what they passed, and that's factually accurate, by the way, not debatable. And the exam's longer, and you have to know more, and there's not like 3 pronouncements back in 1983 like there was when your uncle took it. Okay, all right. Soapbox over. So if you want to be a CPA, then you're going to study. And if you want to have the career flexibility, if you want to be an entrepreneur and own your own firm, and I recommend, if you want to be an entrepreneur, don't own your own firm. It's like, yeah, do something more fun than that. But if you do want to be an entrepreneur, having the financial background of being a CPA not only like kind of instantly gives you instant street cred with other people, rightly or wrongly, I don't know if those are words or not, but just people infer that CPAs are like financial experts. So people will at least listen to you when you speak. But and so it has to be your goal to pass the CPA exam. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. So if you want a career hedge, so it will help you from maybe getting saved from layoffs. If you want career advancement, like it's you versus another candidate going for this job internally, and they passed the CPA exam and you haven't. Guess what? You have an uphill battle. And if you never want to have to go into another job interview again, like sweating the inevitable question about whether or not you pass the CPA exam, you have to hem and haw over, well, such and such, I had this illness and couldn't study for a while. Like, they don't want to hear it. It's like, have you passed or not? And by the way, no one's ever going to ask you what your scores were, and no one no one will ever ask you how many times you took the exam once you pass. So bottom line, the goal has to be yours. And until it's your goal to pass the CPA exam, if it's not, then you should hang it up until a future point in time that it is then. So if you want to be a CPA because someone else wants you to, you should stop immediately. And then at some future point in time, you decide that you want to be a CPA, then jump back into it. And so make sure that it's your goal and not someone else's. And so if it's already your goal, then let's just be realistic. Stop being lazy. I was being lazy. Stop. Turn on Netflix. Like, remove the distractions. If you have to leave your apartment, your house, whatever, get away. Go to Starbucks, coffee shop, whatever. As long as you won't get distracted by other things there. Like, you might have to break your environment. So if you watch Netflix at home, maybe on your couch, you probably shouldn't study on your couch. And so make sure the goal is yours, and then you might have to make some environmental changes in order to get into study mode. Hope that's helpful. Sarah writes in, I need to pass my FAR and BEC exam by tax season. My reg exam expires Q1 2019. So obviously I want to get my 2 tests that are done by tax season. I was using Becker, but my course expired. Am I okay still using my FAR textbook from Becker? I'm using Ninja for MCQ and Sims. I also have Gleim. What do you think is my best route for FAR? I'm sitting for the exam in about 6 weeks. If you already have Ninja, there's absolutely no reason to use other materials that are outdated. So if you want to renew with Becker, that's fine. But if you're not going to, then you shouldn't use outdated materials. You have Gleim as well. Go to another71.com and click How to Study with Ninja as a full course or a supplement. And if you have Gleim, you can use Ninja as a supplement or Gleim as your full course or whatever the combination is there. 6 weeks. And so make sure that you use the Ninja Study Planner on how to stay on track. Nat says, I passed 3 tests through Becker. My last one, FAR, I failed with a 61. FAR has always been my nemesis. I only have 21 days to take FAR before BEC expires. Can you please lay out what to do to help me prepare and pass this exam with Ninja? I don't have Becker anymore. Please help me, in all caps. Okay, 21 days. So I don't know if that's 21 days that you're already into the study prep or that you're studying from scratch. So go to another71.com. I'm going to link in the video below how to pass in 20 days. It's not a best practice, but it might save your life. And then also read how to study with Ninja as a full course. And but long story short, if you're starting from scratch in 20 days or whatever, like spend 3 days in the Ninja book, just kind of breeze through it, and 3 days max, and then jump right into the MCQ. So 3 weeks, you were going to camp out for 2 weeks in MCQ and work the questions and take notes. And your final week, I would watch the Ninja Blitz videos. The Ninja Blitz videos are especially helpful if you're on an expedited study plan like you are with this, and so it's like you only have 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. So basically the MCQ is going to replace like your video. So you are learning with the MCQ. You're not testing yourself with the MCQ. You're learning with the MCQ, and then you're going to review with the Ninja Notes. You listen to the Ninja Audio everywhere you go, starting today. And Ninja Blitz, I would watch that at least once or twice before your exam. And at 61, there's that you've already passed 3 other exams, so you're definitely obviously smart enough to pass and capable of passing. But there's some conceptual weakness, which is why you're scoring a 61. Like there's a hole there. If I'd guess, it'd be governmental accounting, not-for-profit accounting, and like something like bonds or something like that. But governmental accounting and not-for-profit accounting, like if you're shaking your head, yes, I hate those. Hit those first, like nail those down first, and in the MCQ, and then jump into the other areas. So it's not perfect, but I do believe that you can do it in 3 weeks, and so I wish you well on that. Nate says on the another71.com forum, and if you want to join the thousands of other CPA candidates on there, again, we've had over 500,000 posts, so it's a great resource, even if you never log in and post. A lot of things to search for there if you have a question. But he says, wow, are the Q2 2018 pass rates always, or are the Q2 pass rates always way higher than Q1? And he's referring to Q2 2018. So are the Q2 pass rates always way higher than Q1? And the answer is yes. So like over the last decade, since I've been like tracking this, which is a sad thing, Q2 is always the worst testing window for pass rates because people are obviously in tax season, and then it's cold outside, it's dark, everything's horrible, and tax season, and working 8 days a week, and stale Folgers coffee, and nothing's good. So CPA exam pass rates suffer. Now, what's interesting is last year, Q2 of 2017 was the new exam. And when the Q2 2017 pass rates came out, people freaked out because FAR was at 43%. And I said at the time, and there's a post on another71.com, I said just relax. Like, I have a bit of perspective on this because I've seen a lot of things come and go on the CPA exam. So in 2010, when IFRS was added, people freaked out. Pass rates dropped. Everything was okay. In 2013 or whatever, the clarified auditing standards started to become tested. They tested both the old way, what they called the extant standards, and then also the clarified standards. So you had to know both at the same time. People freaked out. CPA exam pass rates dropped. They normalized. Everything was okay. DRS SIMs added. People freaked out. Pass rates dropped. Pass rates normalized. Everything was okay. Q2 2017, new exam. BEC SIMs, higher order skills tested. CPA exam pass rates dropped. FAR is at 43%. I said at the time the pass rates for FAR would be at 48% by the end of the year. And what do you know? The FAR Q2 2018 pass rates are at 49%. It's very predictable, and in the future they will introduce something, the pass rates will drop, everything will normalize, and everything's going to be okay. So typically the pass rates are the highest in Q3, and they kind of taper off a little bit in Q4 because of obvious Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. Yes, we still say Christmas on the Another 71 podcast. Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up this show, episode 86. Hope this has been enjoyable, informative, entertaining. If you want to watch the Facebook Live version of this, I royally screw up 2 or 3 times. That's fine. All right. Go to Another 71. So if you want to be on the show, if you have a question for the podcast, go to another71.com, click Ask Jeff, and it will hopefully appear in a future edition of the podcast. However, I can only answer so many questions, and I get a ton of submissions. I try to answer what I can, both just through a direct response and also through the podcast. If you want a priority response, I usually answer within 24 hours. Then join Ninja Monthly. It's $67, and you get a priority response, and you can ask Jeff through the dojo. And again, if you want free study materials, free sections of the Ninja book, Ninja audio, Ninja notes, Ninja study planner, Ninja MCQ free trial, and all of the goodies, go to another71.com/free, and you will get all of that. So until next time, everyone, be good, take care, and I will talk to you soon.